Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to E-Factor Radio, evolving, electrifying, and empowering humanity with universal love, with host Brenda Pierce and guests, elevating consciousness through thought-provoking conversation with some of the world's leaders in consciousness and personal transformation. Listen live each week at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, or download the powerful podcasts on demand for your listening pleasure. E-Factor Network is the home of E-Factor Radio and several independent broadcasters worldwide. Visit efactornetwork.biz today. Now, let's get on with the show.
Welcome, everyone. What a wonderful day it is, and I am so thrilled and honored to be with each and every one of you here on this amazing edition of E-Factor Radio. It is an amazing start to the broadcasting career of our upcoming guests, and I'd like to just talk for just a moment about the fact that E-Factor is all about elevating consciousness, helping people to be finding their voice and to be the wind under their wings as they reach new heights in their business, their practices, reaching new audiences, and making the world a better place. And so it is with great honor that I, the host of E-Factor Network and Radio, Brenda Pierce, are going to be introducing to the world today the Awakenings Technique. Dr. Kevin Morrison, who's a doctor of chiropractic medicine, and his beautiful assistant, Vonda O'Donnell, will be here with us, and we are going to introduce Awakenings Technique, how it can help you in so many amazing ways, whether you are in their presence, in their office, or even halfway around the world, wherever you are. This is an amazing technique that is going to help clear away non-productive emotional dramas and traumas, which we keep stored away, often for a lifetime, in the form of our thoughts and memories, and ultimately energy within our mind, spirit, or both. As well, Awakenings is a releasing us technique, which will help us release us from the energy associated with negative cellular memories, which can often lead to symptoms and physical impairments within the body over a lifetime. And I have had the experience of being treated in their office and also at a distance using Skype. And what it did for me was absolutely astounding in that it helped me to release hidden depression I didn't know I had, and fear. It reduces and eliminates physical pain. I had a pinched nerve in my shoulder, and it absolutely went away. It improves my relationships. It helps me to actually be a better nurse, mother, teacher, healer, speaker, and I feel so much more confident having had these blocks released. It's alleviated some anxiety that I had that I didn't know I was carrying around. Oftentimes we are victims of our own anxieties, and now I feel so much lighter. The technique also alleviates stress. Definitely that was a plus for me. Improves self-esteem, improves work performance, and gives you clarity of your purpose and vision. And yes, it even improves your sleep. So I've had an amazing time experiencing over 3 sessions this amazing technique that we're going to be launching to the world. And I just really want to let you know that E-Factor is an amazing opportunity for all of you to experience new techniques and wonderful speakers wherever you are around the world. And right now we're just going to go to commercial. And when we come back, I'm going to be introducing to you Dr. Kevin Morrison.
Got a message or a gift to share with the world? Want to be seen and heard? Have marketing, publicity, and online service needs? Let E-Factor Network help you and your business get seen and heard by millions. Visit efactornetwork.biz today.
Welcome back, and welcome Dr. Kevin Morrison, the Awakenings Technique founder, and his beautiful assistant, Vonda. Welcome to the show.
It's really nice to be here.
Thank you.
Oh, it's wonderful. I would love to have you just share with us a little bit about yourself and how you got to this point where we are now introducing the Awakenings. Take it away and share your story.
Yeah, well, I've been a chiropractor now for 23 years, and I've always had an interest in basically emotions and the effect that emotions have on the body, and I basically got that desire from my own childhood, from growing up, because basically when I was a child, unfortunately, I had a mom who had basically two sides to her personality. On one hand, she loved to cook and bake, and at the same time, she was fighting a battle with depression, with alcoholism, with emotional instability. And she could be, a very loving mom, but she could be a very verbally abusive mom. I had a dad who was kind of it was emotionally absent, so that it made it a very tough place to grow up when I was a little kid. I often felt very, very alone. I've got two older brothers. I've got one brother who's 5 years older than me, and unfortunately, when I believe he was 14, he was in a diving accident. He broke his neck.
Oh, wow.
And so he's an amazing gentleman. He's in his 50s now. But we went through a lot as a family, a lot of emotional strife and stresses, and as he did, going through that injury. And when I was growing up, I remember one story with my mom that I was only about probably 7-8 years old, and I was sitting at the kitchen table having my cornflakes or something, and I remember my mom, unfortunately, she came out in a drunken stupor. She was really drunk, and she sat in the chair across me. She was smoking a cigarette, and she basically said, I wish I'd killed you when I had the opportunity.
Oh.
And as a little kid, I don't think my brothers I've never even told them the story. And I know alcoholism is a disease, but I mean the emotional effect that one event has had on a huge portion of my life. I remember as that little kid just sitting there looking at the bowl of cornflakes, thinking, I must be the most worthless kid on this planet. And what happens with awakenings is we help you awaken to the emotions that you've been carrying in your subconscious all your life, which are causing an emotional resistance and that make it difficult for you to succeed in life, and you don't even know why you find it difficult. And what happens is you keep these emotions are like an emotional beacon that you put out to the universe, and you draw back situations and events and people into your life which help to validate those emotions. And unfortunately, those emotions are very often negative. So what happened is I started validating the feeling that I was worthless, and I started also validating this idea that I deserved lack in my life, because I remember I went to chiropractic college. I remember walking through the snow with running shoes on with holes in the toes because I couldn't afford new running shoes, and and I remember talking to my dad. I said, I've got to, I need some money. I need some money to get through school. I just need a loan. And unfortunately, my dad, he looked at me and he said, I didn't work all my life to give you my money. So once again, I got the feeling of lack, of worthlessness. So when I graduated from chiropractic college, I'm probably like a lot of people out there. I was emotionally broken, and people didn't even know I was broken because I was walking around with a shirt and tie on, and you look like you had the world by the tail. And a lot of people do that. They wear a mask, basically trying to pretend that life is good, even though they're basically dying inside. So I started searching out for answers to how to heal my own wounds, and the first thing I did is I graduated in 1991, and about 1994, the doctor that I was working with, he had heard about this new technique out of Indianapolis that by a gentleman's name. His name was Dr. Scott Walker, and it was called Neuro-Emotional Technique, or NET for short. And he said, we've got to go down to Indianapolis, and we've got to experience this technique. So we went down there, and the technique was basically that he was talking about how emotions can affect your physical body, and it can affect your physical health. and how emotions basically can help or destroy basically your life. And when I went down, I was amazed by what he was able to do with something called muscle testing. It's a way that I use now, in which he started to teach me when I was, a young doctor. And muscle testing is a way that you can connect to the subconscious part of the mind very easily, and it's something that you can be taught. And when I came home from that seminar, I thought, my God, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start doing this emotional work because I know my patients need it. I know I need it. And the problem was, when I tried to do it, I thought it didn't work. I was a dismal failure at it. And my patients at the time, my clients, they love me, but they said, Doc, what are you doing? And Dr. Walker gave me the best advice I ever had. He said, hey, Doc, you've got to heal the healer first before you help anybody. That was the best advice I was ever given. So I went away for 6 months. I learned. I went away and got help with myself with my own emotional baggage, if you want to call it. And when I started back with it, it worked amazing. And the thing was that when I started to do the muscle testing and his technique with my clients, I was not only able to determine how they were doing emotionally, but I found that I was able to connect with them structurally even before I ever palpated the spine. It kind of opened a spiritual door for me that I never knew existed inside of me. And that door has never closed, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger for the last 23 years. And so my clients, they know that that's who I am, and that's what I do. And so I did that technique for a while, but I got so busy in my practice that it almost overwhelmed me with how much the need was for doing the emotional work. And about that time, I met a lady who was a wonderful lady, but she felt that the emotional work was too personal to do with clients. So she kind of convinced me that I shouldn't do it anymore. So I basically stopped doing emotional work for quite a while, for probably 4 or 5 years. And then unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago. And I thought, maybe I should start doing emotional work again. And that's when Vonda came in my life. And she introduced me to another technique by Dr. Darren Weissman out of Chicago called Lifeline. And it was an emotional, spiritual technique. And we went down and we learned it together. And it was amazing. It was muscle testing. It was very, very good. So we started doing that technique. And the only thing was that Vonda found that when she'd do very well, but she'd start to fall back into certain emotions of maybe depression or sadness. And I thought, what's going on? What am I missing? And the long and the short of it is what I missed was that when you release a negative emotion, I'll say the word God because I believe in God, but basically God abhors a void. So basically what I learned is you have to help the client replace that negative energy, that negative emotion with what they do want to focus on. And so we help the clients to help let go of what they don't want and to truly focus on what they do want. And so we develop from NET to Lifeline to Awakenings, and it still keeps growing to this day. And we've done it for the last about 2.5 years, and it just keeps getting busier and busier and busier. And the clients that we work with, they finally said, you've got to get this out to the world, because between the intuitive aspect of what I do, which I believe I can and somewhat teach people, and just the technique itself, they've had so many results physically, emotionally, spiritually. They said, you can't keep this. I work out of my home in a home practice. They said, you can't keep this in a home practice anymore. You've got to give it to the world. So that's when you and I met and with Vonda and started talking, and it's just taken off from there.
Wow. Well, it's often said our greatest gift has been our greatest challenge. And so, after hearing your story and the emotional trouble, the sadness that you had to carry deep inside yourself, it has obviously catapulted you to this point where now we are very joyfully launching you to a bigger audience and getting your work out there. As I said in the intro, the experiences I had in the 3 sessions, one in your office with you present and 2 over Skype, there was no difference in the intensity and the ability to be able to help people all over the world, no matter where they are. Awakenings technique is waiting for you. And it is really a life changer. It's been a game changer over the last 3 weeks. I've had a whole new outlook and a whole new joy in my life, because I know that for once the issues I've been hiding deep inside my tissues have actually been released. And it really does make a huge difference. We can rewrite our story. We don't have to be reliant on our old story and our old paradigms when we have such new and exciting things that we want to experience in our life. And I really am thankful to have had the opportunity to connect with both of you and to experience not only your technique, but your beautiful, beautiful presence. Together, you're a dynamic team, and, the Awakenings technique is ready to be launched to the world. So this is what's filling me with such great joy, is the fact that we're on the cutting edge of your great, massive launch, and it's just such an exciting opportunity for you.
Well, I think the best thing I can say is that every day I get to witness the rebirth of smiles and happiness and hope in people of all shapes and sizes, where basically for the longest time they've only had hopelessness, and that was their only companion. Mm-hmm. And because of this technique and because of the innate desire of the individual spirit to reach for something higher, we're all coming out as winners.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
isn't that what life should be all about? It should be about winning the game, not feeling defeated, and and the rest of our life can be the best of our life. And this Awakenings technique is really all about that, which is wonderful.
Yeah, well, I just want people to know that basically we want them to get what they want out of life. And so many people, they think they're focusing on what they want. Maybe they want to focus on making money, but what they're real focusing on is on the lack of not having money, or they want to be healthy, but they spend their time focusing on sickness and on disease, and they don't realize that they're focusing on the wrong things, so they keep, the way the law of attraction works is what you focus on grows. So if you think you're focusing on, I want to be rich, but you're focusing on the lack you have, all you do is attract more lack into your life, or attract more poor health in your life, and then people are wondering, why can't I get ahead in life? And it's very simple. You become what you think. That's the big thing, is you become what you think. How we feel emotionally results in how you feel physically. And what I found is that a lot of my clients over the last couple of years, who I used to adjust, fairly regularly, some of them don't need to get adjusted at all anymore, because they've included the emotional work as an integral part of their health. And honestly, your emotional health is so important. And now, after doing this for 2 years, I just want everyone to know that this is out there. And that's why we've got it on. We've started doing Skype sessions. We don't even need the client to be sitting in the office, because there's no boundary to energy. We can do this sitting in our office with someone in Europe, someone in the States, and we put PayPal on our site so that they can pay for the session over the internet. We can do the session over the internet. They can come into the office if they want, but there's no boundary. There's no boundaries to them if they're serious about getting healthy spiritually and physically. There's no boundaries anywhere to stop them.
Well, this is what's so exciting, is traditionally psychology involves talk therapy, and people can sit for weekly sessions for years and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for clearing away issues, and with no guarantee of a cure. And and just one session can have such a great dynamic change happen that,
Exactly.
and like you say, with distance not being an issue, energy knows no space or time. So we are not linear people, so we don't have to be tied to the paradigm of having to be in an office. We can just sit in the comfort of our home and deal with these things without really having to talk it through. We can just experience the, work with you and make things happen. That's what's so beautiful about it.
Exactly. Well, the one thing people need to know is that they might have multiple issues that we have to help them work through. Mm-hmm. Because we haven't really talked about chakras, but I always connect when someone comes in. I always connect to, like I did with you, I always connect to which levels of the soul, which levels of the chakra are out of alignment. And as you know, there's seven chakra levels that we can connect to, and and I don't know if the clients want to know, but the first chakra, it's called your root chakra. Okay, and it's right down at the base of your pelvis, and it's all about safety. It's about feeling safe. Your second chakra is just in the sort of into your pelvis, and it's about feeling nurtured. It's about that's the main thing. That sexuality. There's various things, but feeling nurtured is a big thing. Your third chakra, I find a lot with clients. It's at the level of the umbilical cord, the belly button. That's all about self-worth. The fourth chakra is your heart chakra. It's all about loving yourself, loving others, accepting love, giving love. Your fifth chakra is your throat chakra. Your throat chakra is all about you expressing yourself and speaking your truth, not being afraid to have a voice, because so many people, they give their power away, they give their voice away, and often for a lifetime. Your sixth chakra sits right between your eyes, and it's all about trusting your intuition. And your seventh chakra is called the crown chakra. It's an energy level, sits above your head, and it's all about your connection to source, to universal energy, to God, or it's also about connecting to your purpose in life. Because so many people that come in my office, they're walking around like in the woods with a compass they have no bearing, they have no purpose. So whatever they focus on is what they bring to their life. So if their first chakra's out and they're not feeling safe, they're going to attract things into their life, people, places, events that prove to them that they don't have safety. And so what I do is I help them to find out what are the emotions, what are the energies that are creating that feeling of not feeling safe at a subconscious level, and then we release those emotions, and they themselves help to create the emotions they want to bring in so that they feel safe or they feel self-worth or feel loved. So it often takes a number of sessions. I kind of give them a roadmap when they come in of where we're going to go. So the biggest thing is whoever I work with, all I really care about is they've got to want to heal. They've got to want to make this a priority in their life. And if they make it a priority, then we make it a priority, because there's nothing more important than feeling good. There's nothing more important for you than to raise your vibrational energy, and that's what we do for, including, as you know, we do that for everyone that comes in here.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, and the beauty is having gone through 3 sessions, I really, first time around you don't know what to expect, but after doing the next couple and really working on, really intensely on a couple of chakras and really getting through to the core emotions behind them, it was really like getting the manual, the operator's manual to my life, because now I can see where different events at different times in my life really were holding me back and were really driving to me the same kind of similar circumstances like you were explaining. So, I now feel that I can go forward with ease and grace and look for new circumstances to embrace in my life. And that is really, it is true. The chakra system is the energy vortex, and what we've been bringing into our life can be really attracted to us through that system. And it's an incredible experience for sure.
Yeah, you basically, people come in and they say, why am I experiencing this? Why am I feeling this way? And it's so rewarding for the client. It's so rewarding for me as a doctor. It's rewarding some of the sessions that Vonda will help us with. But people can finally make sense of what they've gone through in life. They can make sense of why they're attracting certain things in their life. And the thing is that you can become, because of changing these emotions, you can become a creator with intention, and you get more control over where your life's going, because the universe isn't random, and basically what you focus on you get. And so my job is to help you to focus on the right things so that you get what you want out of life. And there's no better joy than to help people create what they want.
Absolutely. Well, and one question that comes up is when we work not only on the emotion and releasing the emotion and the physicality, you actually can help them with some physical challenges that are coming, not just structural challenges, but disease challenges as well, correct?
Yeah, well, there's a really good book out there, and it's called
Deadly Emotions.
Oh, not Toxic, Deadly Emotions. And I give this book to, or I was giving this book to a lot of my clients, and we had to get some more. We went through like 60 or 70 copies in about 2 weeks, and it was written by an MD in the States, and that's what he does. He talks about how every physical ailment that we suffer from has an emotional component, that the basis of this illness is emotional. And so and he also talks about how every cell in your body has cellular memories. Every memory you have since you were a little child, you store in your cells. It's like having every television program you've ever watched downloaded into your cells. And the effect of that energy on your cells is either positive or negative. If you've gone through, 15 years of feeling angry, then that anger is going to affect the functioning of those cells, of those tissues, and it's going to lead to disease, and eventually it's going to lead to disease. And so the awakenings, it's amazing because people come in with various health problems, and usually the emotions that we connect to are associated with the physical symptoms they're now already facing. And it's not that awakenings is the whole answer, but it helps to basically reduce the physical effects they're going through, because sometimes the body's gone through so much physical damage because of what they're gone through emotionally. Sometimes you can totally relieve it. Sometimes you can only partially relieve it. It just depends where that person is as they walk through the door. But I've had some amazing patients that I've dealt with. I had one young man who he came to me and he hadn't eaten solid food for about 3 months. No, actually 3. My wife just corrected me. It's 3 years. And basically, every single meal, his mom was telling me, every single meal, he would put it in a blender, and this is meat and everything, and he would drink it because he had such fear, and he didn't even know why he had this fear, but he was so full of fear that it was expressed for him in his digestive system. Anyways, after one session of doing the awakenings, by the end of the session, we did it around my last birthday, and I had some chocolate cake left in the fridge. I went down and got him a piece of cake, and I came up and I said, "We're going to have some cake together." And he looked at me like, "You got to be kidding." Well, by the end of the session, this young man, he was sucking on the fork because he was sucking the chocolate out the fork, and he was just in absolute heaven. He came downstairs. He told his mom, he said, "Mom, oh my God, I was eating cake." And she was just amazed. And the next time he came in, we had him eating cheese. And now we've talked to his mom. Now he's not living here anymore. He's moved because of school, but he's eating everything he wants. Oh, and that's just one of many. I get people that they talk about their food allergies going away. They talk about headaches going away. It's the list goes on. We've had one lady who was dyslexic, who after 60 years she started reading. She's not reading the whole book, but she's reading 20 minutes a day, and she's comprehending what she's reading.
Oh,
and it's
well, that itself is amazing.
Yeah, it's opened up a whole new world for her. And it's, and all I can say is that, who knows what's going to happen with each person, but when we get them in here or we get them on Skype, just connect. I just connect to what they need released, and then we see what happens with the body. Because we're not the ultimate healers, you know. We're just the people behind the healing. It's spirit that heals. It's innate intelligence. It's God that heals. But we do our best.
Wow. Well, that's phenomenal to hear the life-changing transformations that can happen. Like, you know, you never realize how limited you are in life if you can't read. And after 60 years of you know, just getting by, to have the opportunity to read and have it happen after working through something, you know, without going through years of reading, training and that sort of thing, the literacy reading groups and things like that, to have that happen and transform her life is a real blessing. And the lad with the eating disorder, how limited his life was when he was stuck behind the needing to blenderize his food and have to be able to go off to school.
I'd never heard of that. When I saw him sucking that fork with chocolate on it, like, you think it was like he'd just been given a Christmas present. He was so excited. But the one thing I also want to let your viewers know is that we could keep this technique as private as they want. We can basically, the reason people like to come and have this technique done is it isn't talk therapy. That basically I help them to connect to what emotions they need to release. I help them to connect, and maybe there's a certain emotion behind the initial thought that we have to release. Maybe they feel hopelessness, but it's not. Hopelessness isn't the emotion they have to release. Maybe it's lack of self-worth or some other emotion behind hopelessness that's led them there, or fear. They can keep that all to themselves. What I have them do, I say, I want you to connect to the emotion that led you to that, let's say, feeling of hopelessness. When they know what it is, I have them say, maybe praise God, praise Source, something so I know they've connected. And then they decide what the emotion is, like you did in the office, and you did over Skype. What is the emotion that you want to connect to, you want to feel and experience that will bring you to a higher vibrational level? And you can keep that one, if you're really private, even keep the good emotions to yourself. And then at the end, as you know, I can have you just simply put that in emotion in a positive affirmation statement in your mind, repeat it 3 times, and then we muscle test to see if you hold strong, to see if you've locked it in. And if you remember, you had that one emotion that hadn't initially locked in. We had to do it twice, remember, over Skype.
Exactly. And it was true because, you know, when we were going through it the first time, I just couldn't hold on to the emotion when we were muscle testing, and it was verifiably, you know, we did a second round on that same emotion, and it cleared the second time. The thinking on it was so much easier. You know, I was able to hold that emotion while you were testing and clearing it. And so there was it wasn't like, you know, a parlor trick or anything at all. It was true. It was like, you know, and for you to tell me, you know, all this distance away that I was not clear on that emotion, you know, there was no hiding it.
Exactly. And at the end, what's really nice too is you reconnect to how your body feels from when you came in, and the difference.
Yes.
You reconnect to physical symptoms you had when you came in that we rated, and we rate them again from 0 to 10, and you actually rate them. If it was a 10 out of 10 when you started, or an 8 out of 10, remember, I'll say, what is it now? And some of them you couldn't even connect to. You couldn't even find them anymore. And we do that with your emotions, too. So
exactly. It was such a great thing because I was being really troubled with a pinched nerve from my neck, and the pain was shooting down my arm, and it feels like a vice grip. When I have that pain, it feels like a vice grip at the top of the arm, sometimes resulting in numbness and tingling all the way down to my fingers, and it's gone. It's been gone since that second session, and it's still gone. So, you know, I'm
That's
ever
great.
so thankful.
Awesome.
It's like giving you a new arm.
Yeah, well, there's
great.
a lot of people out there that they think I got to take a pill, or they have nowhere to turn, or they said I get so many people that come in that said, you know, I tried everything, I don't know what to do, and if I'm the last resort, I'm glad I'm the best last resort, because we make those changes in people, and when people leave here with a smile on their face, I can't even tell you how good I feel inside. That's the whole reason I do this, and that's the whole reason why we live, is to feel good and enjoy life. And we just simply, Vonda and I, we want everyone out there. I don't care whether you live in the States, in Europe, in Canada, wherever you live. We want you to feel good. Mm-hmm. So.
Wow. Well, that's a real gift these days. There are so many things that are meant to not make us feel good these days. The economy can be sour, jobs can be miserable, marriages fall apart. Sometimes we have trouble with our children or whatever it is, or loved ones. And, if we can find that state of grace and peace within ourselves, the world looks different, acts different, tastes different, behaves different, treats us different. And I fully believe in that. And, the nurse in me is always greatly excited when I can find something that does not require narcotics and surgery and treatments of that nature. Although if needed, they're wonderful. But for things that are hanging around in our tissues that we can, if we can dissolve them painlessly and effortlessly and have that new outlook in life, that to me is a real blessing. And thank you for developing this and for bringing this forth today.
Well, thank you for allowing me to get on the air and let people know it exists.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
This is it. If we don't share it, we'll never know. The light will never be brighter than it is right now. And I certainly see great brightness in what you have developed here. Yeah,
we see it every day, and like I said, that's why we're moving it out of the office. We just want everyone to know that this technique exists, that there's a lot of good emotional techniques out there. There's a lot of amazing people out there. You've got a lot of choices, and you just have to search and fight for what you want, and you'll eventually find it.
Well, if you put the thought out there, I believe that the right things will come to you and cross your path. And on the line today, we have a number of people who are very excited to have an opportunity to speak with you and Vonda. And are you ready to take some live callers?
I am.
Okay, wonderful. I am going to bring on Lori. The area code is 818. Hello, Lori.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. Welcome to the call, and I'd love to introduce you to Dr. Kevin and Vonda. How can we help you today?
Well, I was calling because my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and I was wondering if this awakening could help her.
First thing I always want to know is, what's your mom's first name?
Bobby.
Bobby, and how old is Bobby?
80.
80. Okay, so I'm just gonna connect to the various. There's the 7 chakras. I just want to connect to Bobby how many chakras she has energetically out of alignment. Okay, the chakra that I connect with her is her root chakra. It's all about feeling safe.
Mm-hmm.
And with her, it's obviously her not feeling safe about her health. So basically, if I was doing a session with her, what I'd be doing is looking at that first chakra and finding out what are all the emotions around her not feeling safe. I'm just going to do one other thing here. When I talked about the 5 elements, or I think I talked about the 5 elements of Chinese medicine, there's wood, water, metal, earth, fire. The Chinese healers were amazing people, and they basically believed that various emotions were associated with various elements. So I just want to connect to the main element. Okay, so your mom's main element is water. Water is about flowing with life, or in her case, not flowing with life. Okay, so I'm just going to connect to the first emotion that I would connect to for her. And the first, I know it sounds obvious, but the first emotion that she has to release is fear. And it's fear from the past. So if your mom was here, I'd be asking her, I could tell her the age that she has to connect to, but I'd be saying, connect to the greatest fear, that your first immediate thought that you can connect to her past. What would happen is your mom would automatically connect to something where she felt fear, okay? And then I want to know, is there an emotion behind fear? No. So then what I would do is I would say to your mom, what is the emotion that she wants to experience, wants to focus on, rather than fear from whatever that initial experience was. And so we would have your mom do a 68-second meditation where she simply focuses on feeling the emotion, the positive emotions bringing in. And after the 68 seconds, what we would do is connect and make sure that she's locked it in. And in the process for your mom is we have to go through all the emotions that she's holding on to as to why she doesn't feel safe. But let me see if there's any other chakra for your mom. No. It's just the first chakra. So I could work with her on Skype where she wouldn't even have to come into the office. But that's what she has to work on. She has to work on her fears. And basically, with water, it's, where did she stop flowing with life? Like, why is her life not flowing? Think of a canoe on a creek. It's like at some point in her life, she started flowing against the current. So where in her life did she stop flowing with life and start flowing against life? And where does she not feel safe in her life? Because that sense of safety, there's a starting point. And one last thing I connect. You said she's 80?
Yes.
Okay. So when did it start? So what I get with this lack of safety, I get it right back from her childhood. So basically, we have to go right back to her childhood to release those issues around a lack of safety. It could have been with the time she grew up in, with 80 years ago. It could have been with relationship with her parents. But there's something back there. I guarantee if you talk to her, there's something back there from when she was a child that she didn't feel safe. It's an energy that she never released. And so that feeling of safety has never gone away. That lack of safety has never gone away. So that's what we have to work on, irrespective of cancer, of any illnesses, she still needs to release those emotions to move ahead. Does that help you a little bit?
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you for being on the call, Lori.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's true because life is a process, and we have a finite time on this earth. And if she's been feeling unsafe, because I did a quick calculation, she was born and grew up in the era of the Depression. So definitely a time of no safety because people didn't know if they were going to eat, let alone have a job, or even maintain a roof over their head. So it makes sense when you bring that up that could be something that has been niggling away at her whole life.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could go in deeper, but it's very personal too. So some of the stuff that I want to talk about, talking about on the air isn't the right place.
No, exactly. But it's an interesting concept for sure. So, Kevin, would you be willing to talk to another
I'll connect anybody.
Okay. So I'm going to bring on Richard. Richard is in the 530 area code. Hello, Richard. Welcome to the call.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Kevin.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm feeling reasonably good, and generally, my life is mixed. I have I can laugh reasonably easily, but I can't cry. And I have chronic constipation, which includes tears, as well as physical, the physical stuff, which also means that my back is usually stiff, including now.
Which part of your back?
The lower back, both sides.
Like the lumbar area, like the low back of the pelvis? Okay.
Yeah, L5.
Okay.
Yeah, the bottom lumbar particularly, but it goes up. The stiffness, the muscle stiffness goes up higher, and I think that's pretty clearly because there's some poop that hasn't gotten out, and it's just sort of blocked up in there. So I'm got these emotional blocks that cause it, no doubt, and as well as some physical issues related to it, and I could tell you.
Okay, Rich, I'm just going to connect for a second here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to be quiet for. I'm going to be quiet for a second here. Yeah, how many for Rich? First thing I get is 2 of the 7 chakras are for you are involved. Okay.
Which 2?
I'm going to tell you in a second. Okay, the first chakra is your 3rd chakra at your belly button around self-worth.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the second chakra is your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is all about love. It's all about accepting love, giving love, feeling love. But your main chakra, the highest priority chakra for you, is your 3rd chakra, self-worth. And I get for you the self-worth issues where they really started is in the past. And are you retired? Are you still working?
I'm 67 and collecting Social Security, but I am, I'm hoping to help people like you make more money. I have some ability to do what the kind of thing you have some history doing that.
Yep.
And I have some ability to do your kind of work, but with the blocks I have, my personal charisma is, nobody wants to be exactly like me.
So what I'm going to do is, what I talked about is, it's also, when I do the emotional work, sort of the first half of the session is always working with the various levels of the soul, the chakras, the various spiritual part. The second half is with the physical body, and I just want to. My wife's just grabbing me I'm in my little spiritual office upstairs. I have 2 offices. I have a chiropractic office downstairs. I have a spiritual office upstairs. So I'm just connecting to my emotional, to my physical pages. Here, give me a second.
Uh-huh.
Let me just connect here. Okay.
I can say thank you for trying while you're connecting.
I can do it. Okay, well, the first thing, when I do it on my own sheet, it connects to the large intestine, so I know there is an issue there. And I'm going to ask how many, I'm going to talk out loud here, how many elements are involved with the large intestine? First off, how many chakras exactly? 0, exactly 1, first, second. Your 3rd chakra, how many elements exactly? 0, exactly 0, exactly 1. You've got all 5 chakras involved. All 5 elements involved with your self-worth, with the bowels. Okay, so that's wood, water, metal, earth, fire. So you're a busy boy. Okay, so I'll just connect to wood. The highest priority emotion under wood, is it 0 to 10? Is it 1 to 10? Is it 1? Okay, under wood, the emotion. I'm not going to explain them all, but the emotion is depression. Okay, is it your depression? It is yours, and it's your depression in the past. So I'd need more time to go. Where in the past are you? Where did you suffer from feelings of depression in the past? We take you there, and that's where we work to clear that emotion. Underwater, okay, water is flowing with life, or not flowing with life, or maybe not flowing as far as the bowels. In this case, and is it 1 to 10? Is it 1 to 5? Is it 1? Okay, the emotion that comes up with you, Richard, is restlessness. Okay, and it's in the present. It's you're restless right now in your life, my friend. So we need to connect you. Why are you restless? We need to find out what's the emotion that leads you to feel restless. The emotions I find are not the emotions we have to clear. We have to clear the thought behind the thought. Okay? Under metal, the element of metal is about your core internal structure. It's about you staying strong emotionally. So the emotion, and this is with your bowels too, is it 1 to 10? Okay, the emotion under your bowels, Richard, is guilt. Guilt in the present. And it's your guilt. So it's something from your past that you haven't let go of around guilt. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, there's plenty to be guilty about for all of us.
Okay. So I'll do one more. I could go on and on because but the next emotion is, I'll do the first 5 so people get to the idea. Earth is about Mother Earth, like nurturing energy. You know how you'd nurture a puppy dog, or in my case, a cat, or your wife or your girlfriend. Okay, or you getting nurtured. Okay, so the emotion is it 1 to 10? No, is it 11 to 20? Is it 11 to 15? 16? Okay, is it in the past? In the present? The next emotion, Richard, is inner hopelessness, a feeling of hopelessness.
Yeah.
It's your feeling of hopelessness, and it's hopelessness you have right now in your life, Richard. So I need more time to nail it down, but right, I know you have a sense of hopelessness. Okay, you feel stuck. This is what the bowels are. You feel stuck. The last emotion is fire. Fire is about passion, and fire is about reinventing yourself. It's about a rebirth. Okay, so under fire, there's 72 emotions. Because I've created these charts, and I've gone to my wife has gone to the internet and gone everywhere, and she's found all the emotions that you can connect to with these various elements. So I want to know the next emotion, please. 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 40, 50, 40, 41, 40, 45, 46. Okay. The last emotion is feeling overpowered. Feeling overpowered. Is this Richard? This is you, Richard.
Yeah, it's happened.
And it's you feeling overpowered in your life right now. So you got a lot of stuff going on around those bowels, buddy.
Yeah.
And there's more than that than I even told you. I'm trying to do
right.
this really fast. In the office, I really do it nice and slow. We have candles going right now in the office, but I can do this over the internet. That's the one thing. If you or anybody out there, if you go to our website, which is www.awakeningstechnique.com, there's a button there that says book now. So you can, if you want to do an emotional session, you can basically, you can send me the information. I think you have to send me like just your email and your phone number. So we will contact you to set it up. But we also have PayPal on the website, so you can pay for the session wherever you are, and we can set you up through Skype. If you have Skype, we can do the session anywhere. We can pay for it anywhere. So basically, I hope that helps you, Richard.
Yeah, it's helpful. Thank you.
So we haven't cleared it, but we get an idea of what emotions you need to clear, what energy you need to clear to help you.
Right.
So you should get in touch with me, because you definitely need to do some work. We can really help you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right. Have a great night, Richard.
Diagnosis. Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, it's phenomenal how telling it is. So the symptomology and then correlates very highly with what you've been finding, and and really it's an eye opener when you start to put the emotions behind it.
Yeah, well, it's something that I've been able to do ever since I started as a chiropractor. I kind of, like I said, a spiritual door opened, and I realized that was the gift that the universe had given me. It was able to connect to people physically, emotionally, spiritually. But like I said, we can help people to learn this for themselves, because I want people to do this for their wives, for their kids, for their neighbors or friends. Because Vonda and I are two people. We can't get out there to the whole world, but we can help the whole world learn how to do this.
Yes.
But at least you can see how. I'm not even sure where Richard lives. It doesn't matter. I can still connect to his emotions. So it's awesome.
Yes, it is. It is. And as you're saying, you're going to actually be starting your own radio podcast on Blog Talk Radio through eFactor Network.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be
awesome.
an excellent way for people to get in touch with you as well, and to do some, say, cursory emotional work, just like we've done here. And then they can take it deeper as they wish. And you have a wealth of information on various topics associated with emotional healing and the such. So that's one wonderful way that you're going to be reaching the world. And so awesome for you to be reaching out. Another is that obviously we're looking to make some great connections with people who would love to be ambassadors and actually learn the technique as well, correct?
Yeah, well, we're in the process of setting up our first workshop. I'm in London, Ontario, and we're going to do our first workshop, kind of like a prerequisite type workshop to the awakenings, to the awakenings technique. The first workshop is to help people understand how they're thinking, first off, and to secondly understand why they need this technique, why it's so important for them. And we're going to put that information on our website. We're just in the process of doing it, getting the venue set up, but it's probably going to be in sometime in April of this year. And we're going to have our launch and we're going to have a luncheon for people so they get fed well as they're learning. It's going to be awesome. It's we're going great guns with this. We're reaching for the stars.
Absolutely, and I look forward to that workshop because I intend to be there myself. And anybody who wishes to connect can do so by connecting with kevinis@gmail.com, correct?
Kevin is at Rogers.com.
Oh, Rogers.com, yes, exactly. Yeah. And so that's the email that they can connect to you with. Join and look forward to, we're going to be promoting your podcast show as we get closer to that event as well. And if anybody has any questions, they can listen to this podcast and connect back with me through Brenda at efactornetwork.biz or B. Pierce Rye, that's BPEARCERAI @gmail.com. And I'll be glad to connect you with Kevin and Vonda and help you to get awakened to the awakenings technique, which is such a beautiful, just hearing that just puts new life into my life. Just amazing how much more awakened I feel these days. So this is beautiful. And so we have a few other callers, but I think we're going to have to just let you know. Sorry, Lisa, I'm so sorry we can't connect with you this time around, but we can connect you to Kevin and Vonda or anyone else online who would like to connect. There's no problem with technology the way it is. It is a small world, really, after all. So, Kevin, do you have any final words before we close off the hour that you would like to share that we haven't covered?
Well, I think just the main thing is people need to realize that how powerful their thoughts are, and they need to realize that how they think is how they become. So people have so much opportunity out there to basically grow their lives and be the best they can be. And if you're suffering, if you're having emotional problems, or you don't know where to turn, or you don't even know what you don't know, this is the great technique for you, because it'll make you aware of what you're fighting emotionally within yourself, and it gives you the opportunity to make a roadmap of where you need to go so that you can have the life you want to have. So the big thing is just if you're hurting, if you're suffering, if you're looking for answers and you tried everything else, this is a cutting approach, a cutting technique, and Vonda and I, we want to help you.
Wonderful. What a heartfelt mission you both are on, and what a wonderful gift you have to share to the world. And thank you so very much for being on E-Factor Radio. I'd love to thank you very much for all you do, and for all the wonderful listeners who have joined us live on this call and will be listening to the archive calls. You can listen to this again simply by clicking on the announcement or the show link. It'll go right into replay immediately after the end of the call. And much love to all of you who stepped forward, and may your lives be blessed, and be awakenings technique be one of the wonderful tools. May this be the tool that will help awaken you. Thank you so very much for all your time. Much love and many blessings, and join us again on E-Factor Radio real soon. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to E-Factor Radio with Brenda Pierce here on E-Factor Network. Download podcasts of this program on efactornetwork.biz. Thank you for listening.